Begin by undoing all 5 latches and lifting the lid of the camera case. You can see that the camera case contains the camera monitor, the camera itself, the zoom and focus controls, the focus control cable, the headset, and the camera monitor sunshade. After moving the focus control cable, the headset, and the sunshade out of your way, you can carefully lift the camera out of the case. Be careful not to rip or pull out any of the foam padding. If you are using the camera with a tripod, ensure that the camera plate and the tripod plate are both attached to the camera. Next, verify that the button on the tripod head is up. If it is pushed in, you will not be able to get the camera on the tripod securely. To get the button to pop up, you can push the black button on the left side of the tripod head while pulling the black lever behind the tripod. Now you can attach the camera to the tripod. You want the back of the camera to be facing the back of the tripod, or where the tripod arms are, and you want the front of the camera to be facing the front of the tripod. With the lens pointing at a downward angle, place the camera on the tripod by setting the tripod plate in the slot on the tripod. Listen for a click, then gently wiggle the camera to make sure that it's fully attached. Next, you'll want to adjust the horizon. First, you'll want to securely hold the handle on the top of the camera with one hand. With your other hand, you'll want to loosen the handle that's underneath the head of the tripod. Once the handle has been loosened, you can move the camera until the bubble is in the center of the small circle. If it's dark, you can push the button and the bubble should light up. After the bubble is in the center, you can tighten the handle. Next, you'll want to attach the camera controls to the tripod arms. The focus control will always go on the left, and the zoom control will always go on the right. To attach the focus control, start by loosening the angle screw and making sure the focus control handle faces down while the groove part of the handle goes up. Next, place it on the arm by making sure the grooves on the control line up with the tripod arm, then set the pin in the slot, loosening the screw pin if you need to, and tighten both screws securely onto the arm. Now you will attach the focus control cable. Begin by loosening the angle screw and adjusting the focus control handle so it's at an easier angle. The focus control cable will plug in here. You need to line up the square on the control cable with the square on the inside of the control handle. It's easiest to accomplish this if you gently insert the square into the focus control handle and then spin the focus control while applying a small amount of pressure to the square. Once you feel it pop in, you can finish attaching the control by screwing it into place. Now you'll need to attach the focus control cable to the camera lens by inserting it into the focus block. Just like with the focus handle, you will need the square to line up inside the focus block. Insert the square end of the control cable into the focus block and carefully spin the handle while applying a small amount of pressure. Once you feel it pop in, you can finish attaching the control by screwing it into place. Next, you'll attach the zoom handle to the right tripod arm using the same process you used with the focus control handle. In this case, you want the groove part to go down while the control part of the handle goes up. Line the grooves on the handle with the tripod arm and pop the screw into place. Finish attaching the control to the tripod by tightening both screws securely into place. The zoom control will plug in underneath the camera lens on the right-hand side. Carefully line up the holes and divot on the camera lens with the pins and divot on the zoom control and push the cable in. Double check that the connection is secure and screw the connection together after pushing it in. The next step is to attach the monitor. You will attach the monitor to the top of the camera by sliding it onto the V-shaped mount. It should click into place. Then you will plug it into the camera here. The insert will only plug in one way, so make sure the cable end of the insert is facing the front of the camera before you plug it in. Next, you'll plug in the headset. The 5 pins on the headset cable should line up with the 5 pins in the plug. The gap on the cable end should line up with the top of the plug. When you're not wearing your headset, set it on the tripod spreader. The Triax cable will plug into the back of the camera. Plugging in the Triax cable can sometimes be difficult. Don't hesitate to ask for assistance if you need it. It's important that you don't twist or bend the cable while plugging it in. You also need to make sure that the end of the cable is flush with the metal connector. Next, carefully coil up the cable and place it under the tripod to ensure that you're not stepping on the Triax cable while you are running the camera. First, adjust the angle of the camera monitor by loosening the screw on the right side of the monitor. Once you have it set at the appropriate angle for your height, tighten the screw again. Now you'll want to make sure the tripod arms and the control handles are where you want them to be. Keep in mind that you will be here for a few hours. If something is difficult or uncomfortable for you, it's best to adjust it before the show starts rather than wait until we are broadcasting to try to make adjustments. Last, remove the lens cap and set it in the case. Then inform James, Marcus, or Lauren that your camera is set up and ready for power. It's okay to ask for help. If you are struggling at any point during the setup, please don't hesitate to ask James, Marcus, or Lauren for help.